All right, my friends, welcome back to the comeback journey. Got my boy Chris here with me. We've known each other for a long time, and
long time.
he hit me up and was like, "Dude, this sounds like it would be legit," and I was like, "For sure, let's do it." So,
stoked to be here. Thanks
yeah,
for
man.
having me.
Yeah, of course. So you want to introduce yourself, give a little like rundown, and then we'll fucking dive in, bro.
All right. Okay. So my name's Chris. I'm 29 years old. I was born in Palm Springs, California. Moved to San Diego when I was about 9. And well, I've been to a lot of schools and ended up at Patrick Henry and sort of met Nick Lowry and Cody Helm. How long has it been? About 15 years, man.
Yeah, man.
15 years. It's half my life.
Yeah, really though, right? We're pushing 30, man.
It's coming soon, man. I'm 30 in October, so I mean, you know, I just thought I'd get my story out there if anybody wants. I mean, because I've always believed maybe if whatever I had to say, maybe someone else can benefit from it.
Bro, that's literally the whole point of why I started doing this. I think it's cool to get like everyday people, you know, like, and so that other everyday people can relate, you know?
Yeah, it's been a long journey.
Yeah. So, okay, so you said you were born in Palm Springs, you moved here when you were 9.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have 2 sisters, 20 years old, Catherine and Danielle.
Okay, they're both 20?
Yeah, that's it. so I was pretty much just raised around women, and
yeah,
and I got zero regrets about that because you know, my mom was always the one that taught me, you know, how to raise a woman.
Yeah,
how to treat a woman.
Right.
How to treat a woman. I also helped raise my sisters a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean, the 9-year age gap, that's got to play in a little bit with that too.
Yeah, my mom was out of work for a long time, so it was just, my dad was always gone, so it was just me, my mom, my sisters all the time. Even before my sisters, it was just me and my mom, all like a lot, spending time together.
What did your dad do so that he wasn't there so long?
So the reason why I moved to San Diego is because he wanted to get us out of the desert, out of Palm Springs area, because it wasn't a good area at that time. It's really still kind of not. And so he's been a financial advisor for almost 19 years.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so he was also in the Army. He's a Gulf War vet, so he was in the Gulf War the entire time, up until General Schwarzkopf told him to turn around when they were going towards to get Saddam Hussein.
Okay.
They turned around. They just stopped dead in the tracks, turned around, and so he was there for the whole thing.
Wow. And you followed suit?
I did. So the Army has actually been in my family for a long time. I'm like 6th generation Army.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. My grandfather, my other grandfather on my mom's side. I have 2 great grandfathers from other wars who were actually Medal of Honor recipients.
That's awesome.
So I ever since I was about, I don't know, 8 years old, I always knew I wanted to be in the Army. So even after high school, like I did the college thing for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Super bored. I got tired of working minimum wage.
I feel you on that.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you joined the Army?
I just turned 20.
Okay.
So I waited a few years.
Yeah, a little bit after high school.
Yeah.
Kind of like felt around to see like, and you're like, not the same for me.
So that I can get the feel of what it feels like to actually work minimum wage.
Right.
So that when I did get out and became a civilian again, I would know what it felt like, and I would have a foundation of, all right, this is what I need to do now.
Right.
Because a lot of young kids, when they join straight out of high school, you know, they don't know that life.
Yeah, they go straight from like living at their parents
straight to the fucking military.
Right.
And then the military doesn't prepare you for life like that. They try to, but in reality, if I joined when I was 18 years old and I got out right now at 29, I would have no idea. I probably would have no idea how to apply for school.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know how to dress for an interview.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what to say. I wouldn't know how to put together a resume. So I mean, a lot of things have changed in the military now. You know, where they do have workshops and classes before you get out. It's called a reintegration program, where they teach you, whether you know or not, where they teach you how to build a resume. Especially the most beneficial ones are the federal resumes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that for like working for the government?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's mainly for like if you want to go like Border Patrol, FBI, if you're young enough, CIA. You know, because you could do school while you're in the military too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's all paid for when you're active duty. It's all free when you're active duty.
Damn.
Yeah.
I thought you could. I mean, my understanding of it was like you could be like in the military, and then when you get out, you can go to school.
So you have that option too.
Okay.
If you've given it enough time.
Okay.
So for me personally, I have 100% of the post 9/11 GI Bill. You get 100% of it when you've given enough active duty time or deployments.
Okay.
I've been on 3 deployments.
Where were the deployments to?
Well, that's where the journey starts.
Let's hear it, bro.
All right. So after I joined the Army when I turned 20, I just got into my unit after basic training in the AIT, which is Advanced Individual Training. It's just job training. It's just a fancy word for job training.
Okay.
So what I do is I'm military police. So that was about 5.5 months, and after being at my unit here in San Diego for 3 months, we got the word that we're going to Afghanistan. So,
and how long had you been in the Army at that point? So when you heard that news?
Not even 7 months.
Oh man. Whew.
Yo, it hit me like a fucking freight train.
Damn. So what was that like over there?
So leading up to it, so I joined the reserves, not active duty.
Mm-hmm.
So when the reserves life is, it's a hard balance between your civilian life and being in the military, because if I was active duty, I mean, I would already have I would already be gone, and everything would be all squared away, like everything, financial stuff, my family, mm-hmm. everything. Being reserves, nobody's really prepared for you to leave, especially for your family. Like they're not ready for you to go.
Yeah.
Because they never thought it would happen. I kind of had a feeling it would happen, and it did.
But nobody else was like, we know it's gonna happen. Like, you know.
Yeah. Nobody thought it was, and I had a long-term girlfriend at the time, and when I joined, I didn't tell anybody until after I had signed papers
to deploy.
To join,
to join the Army.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you went through and committed to it, mm-hmm. and then you were like, "Hey guys, by the way, I just did this."
Because it was what I wanted to do.
Right. And it's hard when you have those people in your life and you think they might talk you out of doing something that you want to do.
Especially a long-term girlfriend.
Right. Right. She don't want you to leave.
We know how long-term relationships are. Long-term girlfriend, boyfriend, it doesn't matter. It's rough for everybody.
Yeah.
So leading up to it, it was pretty rough leading up to it. I mean, I just did all I could to spend time with family, friends, my girlfriend, as much as I possibly could. And it was pretty emotional when I had to leave.
I'm sure.
When they dropped me off, it was 4:00 in the morning, when they dropped me off to my unit, and I had to fucking take all these bags out and shit. And yeah, it was really bad. It sucked. But the cool thing about it is everybody else that you're there with in your unit, that's your family.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going through the same exact thing you are.
Yeah, so everyone can kind of relate.
We all cope together.
Yeah.
And that's how we get through it. Having a good unit is it makes everything stronger. The camaraderie is so much stronger. You feel it, And so we went to Afghanistan, and when did we get there? We landed there February 7th of 2013. And I remember when we first got off the plane, they took our bags off and everything, and they started handing us magazines of ammunition for our M9 and our M4, our pistol and our rifle.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh shit! I was like, this is fucking real right now. And where I landed was Bagram Airfield, so that's one of the biggest air bases in Afghanistan. So Bagram Airfield is 8,000 feet in elevation, surrounded by more mountains that are about 8,000 feet in elevation. So you're in a valley.
Pretty high.
Yeah, it took a while to acclimate.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It takes your body 2 weeks to acclimate to a new climate. So we got there, and it was a little rough for a while, because I mean at first it was okay, but it was 15, 16-hour shifts 7 days a week for almost fucking 2 months.
Ooh.
Yeah, dude, and that shit was so mentally exhausting. And then on top of that, I also have to balance a relationship at home. Right.
So you were still with her at this time?
Yeah, we still got together. We were, well, like any young military cat would do. I proposed to her. I was like, whatever, I want to be with her.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a long deployment. Man, there was just so much shit that happened, dude. It was just ridiculous. At this time, at this point, the first point I remember was when we found out that there was a sergeant or an NCO in our unit who I was really close to, who we found out he actually shot himself, like when I was over there in Afghanistan.
So he was back here.
He was back home, yeah.
Okay.
And then we got word back in Afghanistan, and that shit just fucking destroyed me. Like I was just fucking done, because like I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, is this really happening right now? And yeah, it was rough, because like that guy I always saw, like he always told me, he's like, you got potential, Rod, because last name's Rodriguez. He's like, you got potential, Rod. Like, I see it, dude. He's like, don't give up on it. And I was like, yeah, man, for sure. So he was a cool cat. So that was pretty rough when we lost him. There was Benjamin Smith, great guy. And then we kind of continued on and stuff, and then I know we had a couple cuff calls. Like there's a suicide we had to respond to. It was pretty rough. It was
somebody else in the Army.
Yeah, okay. Not somebody I knew, but like we had to go. Like, I mean, we got to see it, because as a police officer, even in the Army, I mean, if nobody knows the difference, military policers, the only difference is we're cops in the Army, not on the streets, like not civilian life, if that makes sense. We do the same exact thing cops do here, stateside, or the same thing they do civilian, but we do it in the military. Okay. So, I mean, we got to investigate stuff and take statements and shit, and yeah, that was, I mean, I just remember walking in that room, and this guy just totally smoked a whole pack of cigarettes. And yeah, I mean, that was a lot to kind of take in, you know, at first. And then we had another situation where, this is all leading up to something. That's why I'm saying all that. That's why I'm sharing this. So
yeah, man. I love the backstory, bro. And
then we had another situation that really fucked me up, where I was so if nobody's ever, you know, been overseas before, what happens when you get attacked is, what that means is the Taliban sets up these little ramps that look like that are maybe at like a 45-degree angle, and they shoot 107mm rockets off. If nobody's familiar with what a 107mm looks like, they're about 3 feet tall, and probably in a circumference of maybe grabbing like a half gallon of milk. A half gallon, like that's how big they are.
And 3 feet tall.
And 3 feet tall.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and you don't think much of it. They're fucking monsters. Because when these things hit, it just sounds like a loud crack. I mean, the only thing I think of is if you ever seen fireworks and you hear the little ones go off and they go like, it's just, or like a dumpster lid slam really loud in the distance. That's what they sound like when they hit the asphalt. What happens is, when they land, they blow up in a V formation. So they don't blow like you know, lateral. They blow vertical, up and out. So what we're told and what we're trained to do is jump on the ground and just cover, open your mouth so that the concussion doesn't blow out your eardrums, and just prepare for it. And it's called IDF, which is indirect fire, where you don't know where it's gonna hit. You don't know if it's gonna hit you. You don't know if it's gonna hit like your room. You don't know if it's gonna hit your roommate. Like, so it's some scary shit. And so when that happened, I was driving around that night and I heard the alarms go off, and the alarms sound like that iPhone alarm that literally says alarm, and it's like So I never have that fucking alarm anymore. That shit fucking haunts me. Like,
I bet, man.
So when I heard that, I was like, oh fuck, and like I slammed on the brakes, and I was really good at just slamming on the brakes and throwing it in the park at the same time. I just jumped out of the vehicle, and like, you want to be away from the vehicle. That shit gets hit. That shit's exploding. Yeah. So I was actually able to jump over a concrete barrier, and then I get back in the vehicle and I hear over the radio, mass cal, ECP2, all patrols respond, mass cal, at least 2 KIA, and like maybe 7 other casualties. So mass cal means like there's 2 or more soldiers or service members or civilians that have been, that are no longer with us, or they were just, or they're wounded. And then that can mean anything from like mass hemorrhaging, missing limbs, anything. So I got there like super quick. Like I flipped out of sirens and shit, and I was like, oh god damn, like. And I remember like my fiance at the time was trying to call me, and I was like, So I was like, so I just ignored it. And I get there and shit, and like it was just a mess, dude. Like I got there so fast that the motor from the rocket was stuck in the asphalt, and it was still smoking. And like they were just like other people were there like picking up bodies and putting them in the back of pickup trucks and shit, just trying to take them to the fucking hospital. Dude, it's a fucking mess. Yeah. And I'm over here grabbing like my fucking CLS bag, which is a combat lifesaver bag, which pretty much is just like an advanced first aid kit.
Okay.
Like tourniquets, combat gauze, which is like used to stuff in wounds to stop mass hemorrhaging.
And this is for like serious damage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And so yeah, and I remember my buddy got out. He's like, and he comes running up to me like panicking. He's like, Rod, what do we do? What do we do? And I was like, dude, go grab your fucking CLS bag, bro. Like, we got some shit to do right now. Like, this is real as fuck. Mm-hmm. And he's like, all right. And for some reason, I thought I'd be the one that would be asking those questions, you know?
You never know until you're in that situation.
Dude, it turns into second nature. It's second nature. And by second nature, I mean, you've learned it so much that you don't think about it. And you just start, like, it's like you just start doing it. And all of a sudden, like, when you're doing it, like, you come to reality, you're like, oh, fuck, like, what am I doing? You're like, I'm actually doing what I was trained. So it's second nature's kind of scary sometimes, but like, so that was one of them. And anyways, so like I came home and it was I don't know, it was weird. Like when I came home, I felt super numb.
How long were you there for the first time?
9 months.
9 months. And you'd only been in the Army 7 months before you left.
Yeah. So I was,
okay.
And then, oh wait, hold on. Let me retract that statement. I was in there because I was 22 when I went, so never mind. It was. I found out we were leaving about 7 or 8 months before, and then I turned.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I don't know. Shit, sorry. The timeline's kind of messed up, but I turned 22 right before I left. Yeah, that's right. Because I was 20 in 2010, and then 2011 in basic training we did all that, and then it rotated 2012 where I turned 22, and then that's when we left.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Sorry, I just had to clarify.
No worries.
So then we did that, and so I came home and like I was on a bus and like I saw my fiance, I got my family out there, and like I don't know, it was weird. I had like no emotion. It was like I wasn't like, I mean, I was excited to see her, but like I just didn't really feel that excited to see her right there. Mm-hmm. And I came out and I was like, oh hey babe. And that was pretty much it. Like I hugged her and like we kissed or whatever, and my family was like, hey yo, what's up, what's going on, blah blah, and I just went and just did my shit and grabbed my bags, and yeah, that was the first deployment. And then I ended up getting married. Well, I was also planning a marriage while I was gone, mm-hmm. So I had that going for me, and so that was a lot also. And she was also really conflicted when I was gone too. I mean, she used to tell me she wanted to leave me a lot, like when I was gone, and I mean, it may not sound normal, but for the military aspect, it's actually pretty normal. Because like you never know how your significant other is gonna act when you leave, and it's really hard on people.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know, especially being out there. Like there's a few times I was on the phone with her, and I'd be like, hey, babe, I gotta go. And I just fucking hung up because we were getting fucking hit at that time. The alarms are going off, and you feel the whole fucking bass rock, and you feel your barracks like just fucking shake and shit, and you hear booms everywhere. And it's like the fucking 4th of July, but they're fucking coming for you. So, yeah, that. So I'm glad I'm not going back there. So anyways, we got married and stuff, and I'll go back to that. But then my second deployment was in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. When in 2016, 2017. Okay. So that was from August of 2016 to May of 2017. So we were there for, I mean, there's nothing going on there. So that wasn't a dangerous place. That was more of a trip for me. Okay. Yeah, like a mind trip, I mean. You know, I gotta leave actually. Like we gotta take a pass outside of Cuba, so I gotta go to Miami and experience that for a little bit. Okay. Travel around. So that was pretty fun. I also flew back to San Diego when I was out there in Cuba. So that was pretty good to come back home and have some time with family and stuff like that. It was only maybe like a week or so. And then after that, I was home for maybe about a year and a half, and we deployed to Romania. Romania. That was when my most recent one was. So I've actually only been off active duty since November 30th of 2019.
So just a few months.
Yeah, so I haven't really been home right now for a for a while, and so Romania is pretty cool.
Where is Romania exactly?
Eastern Europe, by the Black Sea.
Okay.
So we could actually go to the Black Sea when we got there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that was pretty fun. Great experience.
Was that more similar to the Guantanamo Bay trip as far as like it wasn't like a serious like active war zone?
Oh no, it's the thing about Romania is so they're actually a war-torn country. So I mean, there's still buildings with holes in them from tanks that were shot at them from like way back when Russia was there.
Okay.
So it's there's some third world parts. So like where we were at was a village. Like we had we were at a NATO air base. NATO meaning, for those that don't know, is it's shared with the U.S. and other countries. So we had the Canadian Army there, and then we also had the French Air Force. Just like routine training, like they cycle through, like they fly around, and you know they do their whatever training they have to do just to maintain. You know, that's what the military does. When I say training, I mean like they're doing their job training to, you know, so it becomes second nature.
Right.
Like I said before.
So that when shit happens, you react without having to like think about it.
Yeah, they're ready for it. Because the thing about the military is you got to have a mindset that you're always ready.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, they're all doing that. And, well, just to clarify, my jobs are, so as military police, you have multiple jobs. Afghanistan, we did law and order, which just means we're patrolling and keeping the peace, just like the same thing the police do here on the streets. Just driving around, patrolling, responding to different events or whatever happens. And then you have Guantanamo Bay, which is the correction side of it, where we did detainee like transports and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then I can't get too in depth about it, but that's what we did. And then Romania was the same thing as law and order, just patrolling around, doing the same thing as cops do out here. And then so I came back home from that, and that's the background of what I'm gonna lead up to.
Okay. Solid background.
Yeah, I know. I know it sounds like a lot. I mean, so I'm 29, and like the first deployment was 22. So it's roughly 3 deployments in the last 6.5 years.
Yeah.
My math isn't correct. Yeah. So it's been a lot. I've been gone a lot. A lot of relationships. So going back from when I came home from Afghanistan, kind of where it all started. I thought I was okay for a while. You know, like I was home for like maybe, I don't know, like 7 months, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm fine.
Like home is in like, just like with your family, chilling, like.
Oh, yeah, thank you. So home is in like I'm married, and like I was living with my wife at the time. And,
okay.
And like, you know, things are good. Like, I mean, we were working, and like, you know, we really didn't have any issues with anything.
Mm-hmm.
And well, newlyweds, honeymoon phase.
Right.
First year of marriage. And then I remember one morning I heard you know how the TV goes and it's gonna do that testing thing. And,
oh yeah.
Yeah. I actually woke up.
I heard that a long time.
Yeah, dude. I woke up out of a dead sleep because I used to work night shift, and she was getting ready for work that morning. I woke up out of a dead sleep, dude, and the first thing I did was grab my pistol and fucking get up, and I was like, what the fuck's going on? And she was like, Chris, she's like, calm down, it's fine. And I was like, and like I had to breathe for a second, I was like, what the fuck? Like, and that's the first sign where I was like, I think something might be wrong with me. And a lot of people don't recognize that, you know, and I don't know why. I've always had this intuition, this gut feeling that like something's wrong. My gut's never wrong. Like, my gut saved my life.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been a few times where I've literally almost lost my life a few times. And I was like, holy shit. But because of my gut, I went for it, and well, I'm here now.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I might be here for a bigger purpose. I don't know what it's for yet.
Dude,
but
people underestimate the fucking intuition and gut feeling, man.
I never have, dude. I'm a God-fearing man. I don't think it's just intuition, you know. And so that was the first sign where, you know, I was like, all right, you know, maybe I'll chill out. Maybe that was something, you know. And you know, I used to be very angry when I was home too for a long time. Maybe almost a year, dude. I was just like so mad at like angry as in like someone could say something and I would just be so pissed off, you know, because like, I mean, I could be in a Starbucks line and somebody complain that like they're not getting their fucking coffee, and I'm sitting here like fucking mumbling under my breath, like, you know what the fuck you fucking, like, you don't know, like, you have no fucking idea how fucking good you have it here in America right now. You know, like,
because you've seen other places.
Oh, dude, it's so much worse than how we have it right here, right now, dude. The fact that we're sitting here right now and we don't have to worry that a fucking rocket is gonna land in your house and kill us both is fucking amazing.
Damn. I've never really like thought about it like in that way, you know. Like my grandpa was, he was in the Korean War, and that's it as far as like military in my family. Actually, I have a cousin, my cousin Kevin. He was military police also, and now he's like an actual policeman in, in Iowa.
Oh, right on, dude. That's fucking great.
But as far as that's like the extent of my like armed forces in my family. You know, like I don't have, that's it. So I don't know a whole lot about it.
And they probably don't even talk about it.
You know, I don't see, I mean, my cousin lives, you know, he's in Iowa. Like I see him for like every once in a while for like family get-togethers, you know, but
you should get him on the podcast. I'd love to pick his brain.
Dude, that's the thing. I mean, I'll probably see him in December, like for Christmas. We all go back to my grandparents in Illinois. We try to do it every other year, whatever. But this year we're doing it. So, but I haven't seen him he just got married this year. Last year, 2019. And I wasn't able to go to the wedding because I was working at Costco at the time. And if you have like an allotted amount of vacation time,
you can't just leave.
And so I wasn't able to go to the wedding, which I had 2 cousins last year that got married. I didn't go to either one, you know, so I haven't seen him in a couple of years. So it'd be cool to, you know, like catch up. I'm really excited for this Christmas, but again, like as I was saying before, like I don't know what that feels like, you know, and I feel like most people don't, like they don't think about stuff like that, like how good we have it to just sit here and chill and like nothing going on, like no imminent threat, like no danger lurking around the corner, you know. And
yeah,
most people don't see it like that, and
I'm glad they don't. Well, I'm glad I didn't have to experience it, is what I'm saying. Because
like maybe have a little more awareness, but like don't go and like have that, you know, because I'm assuming that like you, like your memory is like pretty vivid of these like significant events in your life.
I was like fucking yesterday, dude.
Yeah.
It was like 2 minutes ago. I can remember it.
Yeah.
That's what traumatic stress is.
Yeah.
That's what traumatizing things do to people.
Yeah.
And it's not just war, you know, it could be anything. You'd be in a fucking car accident and now all of a sudden every time you drive you're thinking, oh my god, what if I get fucking hit again?
Yeah.
Like that's traumatic stress. That's PTSD. PTSD isn't just associated with veterans and people that have been deployed to combat zones. It can be associated with almost anything.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, somebody could have broken your fucking house and you know, now you got PTSD. Like,
right.
That's how it happens, but it affects everybody differently. That's the thing. Well, same people.
Okay, so let's get back to this. So you said you were home and you were like getting angry at like seemingly insignificant things.
Yeah, right. Like things I'm not proud of. I mean, you know, it was like it took me a while to like come back down and realize, you know, I can't be like that. Like how the fuck am I supposed to live a life like that? How am I supposed to have relationships like that? You know, I can't go on. When I have kids someday? Like I can't raise my kids like that. You know, like I got to be an empathetic person.
Right.
You know.
So, you would hope, you know.
Yeah. Like, well, I mean, I hope so. You know, I mean, I've grown a lot, and it's all it takes is, I mean, really all you only have to rely on is time and some therapy, really. I mean,
therapy is undervalued. A lot of people don't believe in it, you know, like works wonders if you like like I mean it's as with most things, like you get out of it what you put into it. You know, so if you take it seriously and you like go and try to get as much out of it as you can, like the benefits are massive. Yeah, right. You have to want it.
You have to be willing, and you have to be able to accept what had happened, whatever reason you're there. And once you accept it, like acceptance is a huge thing, like that I've learned for me personally. Once I was able to accept what was happening, I was actually able to recover and move on. And we all recover in our own ways. You know, I'm not saying, you know, because recovery is a huge thing. We all do it in our own ways, you know, I mean, so, well, okay, long story short, well, we ended up getting divorced, and,
This is while you were back here?
Yeah, this is while I was back home. This is after I came back home from Afghanistan. Like, we grew distant and stuff, and I was drinking a lot, like, heavily, and, it wasn't a good time, you know, and when we split, when we actually, I split, when it was other stuff, but when I split, it was like more, like I had to work on me. I realized I was like, I need to fucking work on myself. You know, like I felt bad for her, like I still wanted to be with her, but when it came down and we both wanted different things. Yeah. And I realized that I needed help, and I drove my ass to the VA because I had free healthcare. Yeah. Like when you deploy to a combat zone, you get 5 years of free healthcare. Damn. From the VA. So I drove there and I was like, I went to the ER and like I sat there and I was like, I need to talk to somebody. Like, you know, so I spoke to a social worker, and I spoke to a psychologist or psychiatrist, and she was like, well, it sounds like all the things that you're telling me. She's like, you have PTSD. And I was like, what? So that's when I was officially diagnosed with PTSD back in 2014. So after me and my ex-wife split, I had recently bought a Jeep. Brand new 2015 Wrangler. Beautiful girl. Hell yeah. R.I.P. Naomi. I named her Naomi because, well, I mow backwards, and the Mopar motors, they moan when you step. It sounds like a moaning when you step on. That's how I did. But so after all that happened, I had regular visits every now and then with psychologists, psychiatrists, and stuff, and they tried to put me on antidepressants, and I was like, you know, like, well, try it out, you know, see how it makes you feel. And I was like, all right. All right, I'll try it. I tried it for about a month, and I just felt like fucking dog shit, dude. Like, I didn't feel good at all. So I fucking threw them away. And I had a dog at the time, you know. So I was like, so I looked at him and I was like, you need to get out. I need to get out. We both need to get out. Like, so what I call it is I self-medicated on life. We started hiking mission trails with like a lot, like maybe 2-3 times a week. I'd go on like 5-6 mile fucking hikes. Like we'd be out there for fucking 5-6 hours, dude, like forever. I'd go out, I'd drive out to the mountains. Like I looked on maps and like all these like BLM land maps, and I found all kinds of trails I could go out and explore, and I love that shit. Like that's what I love. I like being out in the country. I like being off the grid. I like being able to not have anyone get a fucking hold. I don't want my fucking phone vibrating when I'm out there. Right. Those are the places that I find. And I love that shit because it's just like, something about it is just so refreshing. Yeah, man. I feel like it resets you. Mm-hmm. Like being out in nature, you know. Oh, this is something that I've been like taking more and more seriously like recently. Like I've always liked to like go on hikes and stuff, but like as far as like really trying to like reap the benefits of like being like connected to nature, you know? Feel it. And like, yeah, you feel it, bro. Like it seeps into your soul. Like I really believe that. Like it does. And then that's why after the Jeep I bought my truck. I was just out in the fucking mountains 2 days ago. Hell yeah. Like, I mean, something about just cruising around, and like I like listening to country when I'm out there, you know. Probably love country. I like listening to the country and I even like bluegrass. Like I love that shit, you know? I mean, like, I'm a city boy. I should have been a fucking country boy. Bro, you're gonna start taking up, like, playing the harmonica. The banjo. The banjo? Oh, yeah. Some washboards.
Okay, so after you were diagnosed with PTSD and they gave you the antidepressants, you took them for a little bit, you stopped taking them, and you're not nothing since?
No, I don't know.
Damn.
I stopped all that. I even went back and talked to another psychologist, and I was like, "What do you think, dude?" Because this guy from New York, he's like, "Well," he's like, "How do you feel?" And I was like, because every time you go to talk to a psychologist, it's the same thing. He's like, "So let me ask you," and I'm like, "No, I don't want to fucking kill myself, and no, I don't want to hurt anyone." And like that's how often
those are like the two main questions.
Yeah, and that's how I answer it, and they would just laugh, and I'd be like, "All right," and they're like, "So what's your reason?" And I was like, for a while, it's a little jaded. I was a little jaded. My answer was a little jaded. I was like, "Well, I love whiskey and women too much," in that order. And they were like, "Rod, do you think that's healthy?" And I was like, "Probably not, but I mean, that do I want to kill myself?" And they're like, "No," and I was like, "Fuck no, I don't." So, I mean, yeah, I was that's how jaded you become sometimes when you know, I mean, I don't regret the Army, but I mean, it has molded me into the man that I am now, that I am today. You know, because I mean, sitting right here at 29 years old, I was not the same man when I was 24.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know. I've done a lot of thinking. You know, especially my dad too. I talked to my dad a lot too. Like you know, so yeah. I mean, it's been a rough journey. And then after Romania, I found myself drinking a lot more, and we weren't allowed, you know, to have liquor on there, and you know, sometimes I'd sneak it in anyways, and I mean, I'm being a fucking police officer, like that's a no-go.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't really think about it, and it was called one of the psychologists I talked to that I actually worked with a lot. I loved him. He said he's like, you drink when you're bored, you drink when you're sad, you drink when he's like these are the reasons why people usually drink. You're bored, you're sad, or a relationship, out of work, or something else. Like there's something traumatic else going on. Like that's when you drink. You know, when you're not keeping yourself busy. So that's when I started going to the gym a lot, and I found the gym to be like my sanctuary. Like I could put my headphones in, nobody would bother me, and I just do my thing. You know, I wasn't focusing on trying to get like in shape, or well, I was, but like I was more focusing just on working on myself, because I feel like for me personally, like going to the gym, like I mean, there's a lot of discipline in it.
Yeah.
You know, like you learn to move forward. You know, you fail, right? Sometimes.
Yeah.
But then you work with it. You work through it. You get yourself out of it. You unfuck yourself. You know, that's you gotta unfuck yourself. And that's what I call it, you know, and I feel like the gym has really helped me a lot, and I can give credit to one of my good friends, Michael Hill, who helped me out a lot with that. You know, he like showed me the ropes, like everything. And that was when I was in Cuba, 2015. So Romania, I actually did it all by myself. Like I never had a spot. I didn't want to work out with anybody. I just wanted to be alone. Like, not like in the gym, not like, you know, not like in a depressive way, just
right.
You know, like just I just want to. There's times in my life now where I just want to be alone. I mean, I'll go out to the fucking mountains alone for like 8 hours, you know, every now and then, I just need time. I just want time to myself because I like it.
Yeah,
I like being by myself sometimes. Like you said before, it's how you reset.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have issues being alone. Like they can't like sit with themselves, you know, and like sit and like be immersed in like their own thoughts and their own emotions without any like external whatever like coming in and like distracting them from it, you know. And it's super beneficial to like learn how to be okay being alone. Like it works wonders if you can like get to that place where like you can go for a day and like turn your phone off and like not worry about anything and just like be by yourself. And it's a great feeling when you like get to the place where you like look forward to it, like that time to reset, you know. And it's great for everything, really. I think like it helps with like your mental clarity. It helps with like clearing all like the nonsense out of your head. You can like really get down to like what's important, what am I trying to do right now with my life, like what am I looking forward to, and you have time to like process these thoughts and these emotions without any distractions.
It's therapeutic.
For sure.
It's that was a big thing in my life. I call that my hold on, I'm having a brain fart right now.
That's all right, bro.
I call it self-medicating on life, and I was like, I feel like that's what really saved me. Just as a man,
yeah,
as a person, you know, because like, how am I supposed to be a man and a woman, you know, or my kids and raise children and have a family if I don't love and care for myself?
Yeah. Damn, I feel like is that an uncommon attitude for people that come out of the Army?
Oh yeah.
Like most of them don't react that way.
No, hands down, no. It's not. It's learned. You know, as humans, we learn from each other.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to like psychiatrists, psychologists, what are we doing? We're learning from another human. You know, like humans need human to human interaction sometimes, because that's how we learn off each other.
Right.
You just didn't wake up and fucking know how to cook eggs, and
right.
You learn that from another human.
Yeah.
You know, it's so learning from people is a really big thing for me. I mean, good or bad. Especially trying to learn better behavior. Mm-hmm. Like learning good behaviors and getting out of old behaviors, as in like maybe, I don't know, as an example, maybe you're a smoker and like the first thing you do in the morning is smoke everyone. Mm-hmm. Well, you can change that behavior if you're willing to. You could change it by, well, instead of smoking every morning, why don't I just cook some breakfast? Mm. You'd be surprised how a simple change in behavior can get your mind off of doing old shit.
Yeah.
And just unfucking yourself.
Unfucking yourself.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. That's what it means to me to get out of to change behaviors, out of bad behaviors, and practice new behaviors. Actually, but is actually what I call it, is practicing new behavior. Mm-hmm. It used to be surprised that like people would be surprised at how much changing new behavior or practicing better behavior will actually change you.
Yeah, man. Well, it's just, I think it's something a lot of people struggle with, is like they can see like, oh, like if I stop doing this, and this, or like if I start doing this, and this, my life will be a lot better, right? Like building these new habits or getting rid of these old habits, but they're not willing to like put themselves in a slightly uncomfortable situation or like period of time to work through that, either to like get rid of the bad habits or start the new habits. It's going to be uncomfortable for a little bit, you know? And a lot of people don't want to go through that discomfort to get to the other side. Like they want to get to the other side, but they don't want to go through the discomfort, and so they just don't do it. They don't want it bad enough. You have to want to change.
Oh yeah, it's definitely all about want. Like you gotta have that's where acceptance also comes in again. Mm-hmm. You gotta accept it, and once you accept that you need to change, it's all downhill from there.
Yeah.
And I mean that's, I've learned so much from psychologists and psychiatrists about all this stuff, and it's so great. I mean, just talking to somebody like that, like knows, like that will give you feedback from a different perspective is so powerful.
For sure, dude. I've been in and out of therapy for a long time. I just recently stopped going because I don't have health insurance currently, so I had to stop. But that's the thing, is like getting that unbiased opinion. Like you could talk to your friends and like, but if they know the situation and they're your buddy, like they're probably gonna be like side with you and be like, nah, you know. So like, you're like, nah, bro, you don't need to worry about that. Like, keep doing what you're doing.
Oh no, fuck that, do you?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, push the fucking button. Yeah, all right, that's all I got here in the first place.
Right. So like, it's crucial to have. I mean, if you don't want to go to therapy, you need to have people around you that are gonna call you on your bullshit and like push you to be better. And if you feel the need for therapy, that's like a jump start to get there, you know, because you have this person that's like, like they look at, like you say something and you're trying to like get one over on them and they're like, you're funny, like good one. I'm not falling for it, you know?
And then they just tell you how it is.
Yeah, right. They tell you how it is. So you're no longer on active duty?
No, I actually got I got a really good opportunity with the very well known government contracting company. So right now I'm awaiting to leave on my last deployment to Iraq, but this time as a civilian.
As a civilian?
Yeah, with this company. So
okay.
Meaning like, I mean, I'm still an armed guard. Like I'm still like, you know, I'm still wearing body armor and carrying a weapon and everything, but it's not with the military.
Okay.
I'm working with the military, not for the military. If that makes sense.
Yeah, so like the company that you work for is contracted by the military.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what. Yeah, government contracting.
Government,
exactly
right.
That's what I mean by. I mean, government contractors. I mean, like I can mean a lot of things.
Right, but like you specifically, like you're, as what you said, like security. Is that like what do you?
Yeah, kind of. It's I mean, you need a secret. You need a clearance for it. I mean,
okay.
There's nothing you can't find on Google. I'm not gonna name the company, but yeah. It's a very well known company.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
Did you like search for that, or did they come to you? Like, how did you find this job?
I actually found it at a job fair that I was forced to go to by the commander of the army post I was at.
he was like, you're going to this shit.
He wanted a bunch of us to go, like an entire like 300 people. He was like, it was mandated.
Oh damn!
And
okay.
I didn't want to go, and you know what happened? I went and I met these guys, and now I have a pretty fucking solid career ahead of me.
That's awesome.
And I'm very grateful for it, because my journey, if I would have never fucked up, my journey would have never brought me there.
What do you mean by fucked up? Like,
I made a few mistakes in Romania, and I ended up being sober for a really long time, probably for about 3-4 months.
Okay.
And it was really clarifying. And when I met the psychologist that I was supposed to see, he actually said, he's like, I don't think you have a problem. He's like, I'll work with you through your issues of PTSD, but he's like, but with alcohol, he's like, I don't think it's really that much of an issue with you. He's like, I think what your issue is you were just bored. You were on deployment. That's what soldiers do. Because he was a prior soldier. Like he's a high ranking officer, so he knows exactly how it was. So being able to relate to this guy was like, you know, I was like, finally, like, I mean,
yeah, somebody that understands.
Yeah, exactly. And so we worked through a bunch of stuff, and I went through some workshops, and actually that was all voluntary on my part. Like I chose to do that, because otherwise, I was willing to learn more things, or otherwise I'd just be another lost cause, and I'd get kicked out, and then I wouldn't have this opportunity with the government. I mean, there's a lot of things that'll hinder you in the military. If you get kicked out of the military, like kicked out as in like you get a dishonorable or other than honorable, like you cannot work for the government anymore.
At all, ever. Damn.
Forever. Yeah. So so I had a lot riding on this when I was there. And I just said to myself, I was like, you know what, Chris, like, you gotta fucking buckle down. Yeah, you gotta cut the shit.
Yeah.
You know, unfuck yourself.
Unfuck yourself.
Yeah. And I was like, fuck. I was like, all right, you know, like, I have internal dialogue sometimes, and I'm just like, yeah, you're right. So I did that, and that's what I mean by if I didn't fuck up, then I wouldn't have had this opportunity, and I'm really grateful for it. And I really, like I said, I was a God-fearing man, and honestly, like, I just put it in God's hands, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope.
So total time in the military was what, like 8 years, 9 years?
It's 9 years right now.
9 years?
I'm actually trying to get out. I'm still in right now, but I'm trying to get out so I can leave for this job. And
so what's the process of getting out? Like, what do you have to do? How do you?
So getting out of the reserves is a little more difficult than it is to get out of duty. After duty, you just give your time, and they're like, all right, you're out. Reserves, you gotta like submit a bunch of paperwork and stuff, and because I still have a few years of obligatory time with the government.
Okay.
So that's why I'm trying to get out, and they need a really good reason for it.
Yeah.
And right now my reason is, well, I mean, I'm gonna be gone overseas, and I'm not gonna be able to report. So that's what I'm in the process of doing right now, and
okay,
they're being supportive about it. I've known my first sergeant for a very long time. He used to go to the same church as my family did. Like, he knows my family and everything. Like, he's a great guy. So he understands me and, you know, what I've been through and everything. So it's nice to have that support.
Yeah, so like he's behind you, like he's cool with you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. So that's like this government contracting position that you landed with this company. That's like something long term that you would want to do.
Yeah, there's excuse me. There's actually a lot of career growth with it, like growth from within.
Like inside that company.
Oh yeah. So the first thing I have to do is, well, you know, I got to get my boots wet,
mm-hmm.
and then once I do that, then I can just level up from there and just keep going. And that's the only reason why I'm leaving again. I don't want to fucking leave again. The only reason why I'm leaving again is because I want to buy a house when I come back home.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want a house in California. I'm moving out of California.
Hey, me too.
Yeah.
Where are you gonna go?
You know, I had a lot of things in mind. I was actually thinking of this. I forgot the name of the town, but it's actually border of Portland and Washington. It's a town that's like maybe 15 miles from the border of Oregon.
Okay.
So like southern Washington, really beautiful houses. Like, I found a house on a lake that was a 2,500 square foot house, 4 bedrooms, like moderned out. There's a lake in the back. There's a big backyard.
Amazing.
There's just tall trees everywhere. For shit you not, $340,000.
Jesus Christ. You could get a 1-bedroom condo out here for that much.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Like, so you said you lived in Washington for a little bit, right?
Yeah, and so that was actually really cool. So I was actually at Fort Lewis, 2nd Ranger bat. That's where 2nd Rangers are at. and so I was there doing medical out processing for about almost 4 months, probably about 3.5, 4 months.
What is medical out processing?
Oh,
Did I say that right? Out processing?
Yeah, so
okay.
Out processing means, like, for the reserves, like, or even active duty, when you get out of the military, you have to go through a bunch of medical screening.
Okay.
So like full blood panels, full checkups, like everything, because they want to make sure you're good before you leave. You know,
right.
I mean, and I was like, all right, I'm stoked about this. Yeah, let me go see the docs. You know, am I good, doc? Yeah. And so that's what I was there for. So I had a lot of downtime out there, and so like the first week I was there, I mean I have a vehicle out there. I'm in fucking Washington, and I don't know, I sold my Jeep before I left, so, and I saved up a bunch of money on deployment, so I was like, you know what, I want a fucking truck.
Got the Tacoma in Tacoma.
Yeah, that's when I got the Tacoma in Tacoma.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful 05 fucking Tacoma, only 106,000 miles on it.
That's pretty low for an 05.
Yeah, great condition, and I actually found out it was actually purchased in Temecula.
Oh, okay. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice truck, dude.
Dude, yeah, I drove her back from Washington all the way to San Diego. It was a long drive.
And you said you just got back recently, right, down here?
Mm-hmm.
How long you been here?
Let's see. showed up in San Diego October 28th, so 2 days before my birthday.
Damn.
Yeah. It was a long road trip, man. It took me a day to drive out here, and I did it by myself. And it was such a beautiful drive through Washington and Oregon, like, because all you see are like trees, and like I stopped at a motel one time and like took a nap for like 5-6 hours, and I just fucking went to a nice restaurant that was like, it was like an old train car restaurant or whatever, and like I grabbed some good food and a Manhattan and got a fat burger, a Manhattan, and a beer, and I was like, all right, I'm ready to go. I got a long way to go. And then it wasn't until I got into California everything turned dull.
I think there are definitely some dull parts in California, you know. Like I took a road trip with my family. We flew up to Portland. I have family in Portland, and my mom bought a minivan off of one of her cousins, and then we drove it back, like me and my mom and my two brothers, and we drove down to Portland. It was really cool, you know. We stopped at like some cool like touristy spots on the way, you know, but I think like living in San Diego, like driving down the 1 or the 101, like next to the water, like is not a big deal for us.
No,
we grew up here, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, okay, no big deal.
That's why I like Seattle, but I didn't care for it too much because it's just another
big city.
It was just another city next to the ocean.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, and I know a lot of people take it for granted. But like, honestly, like, I love the country. So for those of you who don't know, there's this huge mountain close to Tacoma called Mount Rainier. You've heard of it?
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah, you can see huge. Like massive, like snow-capped mountains.
Yeah, I think it's 14,000 feet in elevation.
Whew!
It's actually a state park.
So you can like go check it out.
Oh yeah. Damn. So what actually happened was it was really weird how it happened. I took my truck in for after I bought the truck. I took the truck to Toyota so that they can check it out. It turned out there was some recall stuff needed to be done on it, like the leaf springs need to be changed, and I was like, okay, cool. And they're like, well, you get a free rental, and I was like, all right. I was like, well, what do I get? I was hoping for a truck, but they actually gave me it was a 2019 RAV4. It was all-wheel drive.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, it was. It did. When I got inside of it, dude, it only had 4 miles on it.
Oh my god! Brand new.
Yeah.
That was a rental car.
Yeah.
Damn.
And I was like, how many miles can I put on? They're like, there's no miles limit. They're like, can I go to Canada? And they're like, no, you can't leave the state. I was like, all right. So actually, I got in it that day. It was early in the morning. It was probably about 8 o'clock in the morning. And of course, I had my bag with me and stuff. And I was like, And it was a hybrid. So I was like, all right. I was like, I'm going to grab some food. And I drove up to Mount Rainier. And I actually found out that getting into the park was free for military.
Oh, hell yeah.
It took me about 4 hours to drive through the entire place.
Damn.
But
it was a big spot.
Yeah, it's huge. But I mean, the speed limit, I mean, you can't drive fast. I mean,
right.
You can only go maybe 15, 20 through the whole thing. So I literally stopped. I probably stopped about 30 times. Because there's a bunch of viewpoints. Like, everywhere. Like, super high in the mountains. You can see all the trees, like, over there, you know. Bigfoot probably lives out there.
Look at Sasquatch.
And I just fucking love that shit, dude. Like, it was so cool. It was such an amazing experience just to cruise around and just, like, just having a country blasting, and had a JBL sound system in it, and, like, I was totally vibing, dude. Like, and I was by myself, and, excuse me, I loved it. It was great.
So you would, like, in your ideal situation, you would want to get a little spot, like, in that area, like, southern border of Washington?
It was either that or somewhere similar. Like, I was also thinking Colorado or North Carolina. So, like, my main goal when I come back home, like, when I say I want to buy a house is, like, I want property. Like, I want a ranch.
You want a ranch?
Yeah, dude. I want to. Shit. I'm trying to have my kids, like, when they get older and shit, like, like, they want to run around on the property. Like, I know they'll be fine.
Right.
I want to teach them how to shoot. I give them a fucking shotgun or a rifle if there's fucking wolves or coyotes out there, and I want to make sure they can handle themselves. Even if they're girls, I don't care. like, I'm trying to raise my kids in the country.
Oh yeah. Dude, I almost moved to North Carolina last year.
Really?
I was like, I literally like, Cody's brother, Casey, he was a year younger than us in high school.
Yeah, I remember Casey.
Yeah, so Casey moved to North Carolina a couple years ago. He just moved back like 4 months ago.
He
out
loved
here.
it, huh?
But he was out there for a couple years. And I was like trying to get out of California, you know, and so let's see, he moved out there I think like the summer of 2017. And he just moved, so he was out there like 2.5 years. And so I wanted to move out there, and I planned on moving out there like the summer of 2018. And in November of 2017, I got arrested. And this is like, I was already sober, like, you know, and I just did some stupid shit.
It happens, brother.
Yeah. So like I was not allowed to leave San Diego County. So I was on like strict probation. And so I did this illegal activity to like get money so that I could move. I was like, I need a new car. I'm trying to get the fuck out of here. And I got caught. And I got aiding and abetting the transportation of illegal aliens for financial gain.
I love it.
So yeah, that shit's on my record forever. But so I didn't get to go, right? And so I waited, you know, until my probation was over. Actually, I got permission from my probation officer to fly out there January of 2019. And I was working at Costco. I put in a transfer request, like moved out there, stayed with Casey for a few days, like checked it all out, and like went in and like talked with the manager of Costco. And I came back and I thought about it, and I was like, it wasn't like the right fit for me at the time, you know, and so I didn't go. But I was, the place I went to visit was Wilmington, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
And that place is awesome. Dude, it's so nice out there. And, like, it's definitely like a place I want to go back and visit. And maybe like get like if I could have like a little vacation spot out there, that'd be dope, you know?
Oh,
but
yeah.
It just wasn't
Airbnb.
Oh yeah. But it just wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. Like in my head, I had this picture of like this, you know, because like Casey's my boy, so we talked like every day while he was out there, you know. And he's like, "Oh, this shit's legit." He's like sending me Snapchats, and like I was like, "Fuck it, I'm trying to go out there." And I went out there, and like I was like, "This is cool," but like not what I had pictured in my head, you know. So I was like, "I'll stay for now and stay out here." But I think I'm gonna go to Arizona, bro. Probably in January, February. 'Cause my girlfriend lives out there, and it's so cheap, bro.
Yeah,
it's so cheap out there.
I've been out there a few times.
Like I don't want to stay there forever, but like if I like, you know, put a couple years out there and like, because I want to, you know, buy property too. So if I could, you know, start out there where it's way less expensive, and then, you know, branch out, go somewhere else. That's the plan.
What part does she live in?
Right now she's in Flagstaff. Her sister lives in Flagstaff.
Okay. Which
is super nice, but she's moving to Phoenix like late summer. She's got a couple semesters left of school, and Phoenix is a little bit cheaper than Flagstaff, so she's gonna move there like end of summer, and then I'll move out there like beginning of next year. And then after she finishes school, might stay for a little bit and then like find somewhere else to move and start exploring the fucking country. But
just don't go to Tucson. I've been in Tucson. It's not my favorite place.
Nothing out there we're seeing.
I mean, okay, I love Tucson, but I used to date a girl out there. But like, Tucson was cool, but it just reminded me too much of where I grew up. Reminded me too much of like the desert, you know, Palm Springs, Coachella, Indio. Is like it's a little dirty, a little janky. It's not me.
Nah.
I even thought about Virginia.
Virginia?
Mm-hmm.
See, I've never been. I've I've been to like a lot of different states, but not a whole lot east. Like I've been to Florida and like Georgia and Alabama, like real short trip, like for the day. And I went to like New York and New Jersey when I was younger, like in like 7th grade. And that's it for the East Coast. And then like a few days in North Carolina. But as far as like Virginia would be dope to go check out, you know, like that's the thing is like, I'm with you on like the country, like going out and like, you know, like I'm with it. Like give me a little cabin in like Wyoming or Montana or some shit, you know?
Some internet still.
Yeah.
I'll
like,
be all right.
Yeah. Like let me get some internet and like, as long as the grocery store is not more than like 45 minutes away, like I'm cool.
I feel you on that one. But even 45 minutes trip to the grocery store, like, dude, it's a long ass drive.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but why Virginia? Like, what? Have you been there before?
No, I've been to Maine, like, only for like, when we flew back from Afghanistan, we stopped in Bangor, Maine, and I was just looking out the window and I was looking at everything and I was like, damn, you know, and then like, we were there for like 6 hours. It was a long layover. So we got to go outside and like conversate with a bunch of people and shit, and we were still in uniform, and they had a whole like greeting party for us. Like,
damn, that's awesome.
Yeah, like we got off the plane and it was literally like nothing but people through the entire airport, just side by side, shoulder to shoulder, just like trying to shake all our hands.
Fuck yeah.
So
paying the respects.
I just really don't care for it much, but I mean, it's nice, but like I always tell everybody, you don't gotta thank me for it. Like,
yeah, I mean, it must be a strange feeling, you know, to have all these people like they don't know you, you don't know them.
It was powerful. Yeah, and then I remember the last place we stopped was in El Paso. Fort Bliss is out there, so that's like a mobilization station, which means like that's where we do our medical out processing before we leave.
Okay.
For most deployments. And there's like this army band playing, and like all these like everybody's family members are out there, and they we actually shared a plane with people that lived there in El Paso, so that was their family.
Okay.
And I remember I just kept walking, and this full bird colonel, like, he was like, so hey soldier, he's like, you're not glad to be home? And I just looked at him and I was like, that's not my fucking family. And he just had this blank stare, and he's like, all right, how do you have me home? I said, yeah, sure, sir. And I just kept walking, and I mean, usually that's huge disrespect, but like, I mean, we just came back from a fucking combat zone. So it was like, what is he gonna say?
Yeah.
So like, but then Bangor, Maine was a little more welcoming. They're like old veterans and stuff, and so that's why I kind of like Maine a little bit. I think there's a bigger, I mean, obviously San Diego has a bigger veteran community, but I think in Maine it's a little more embraced. You know, I mean, you're around more people that kind of
like more tight knit.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
They got them good lobsters too out there.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. I was like, damn, how are lobsters out here, you know? Yeah, I always thought about the East Coast.
Yeah, the East Coast, it was on like my bucket list to live in New York for like a year. It's still on my bucket list, like, I don't know, not anytime soon, you know, that's like, I gotta have money to live out there, bro. So
my dad takes business trips out there, so if you ever want to go to New York, he's always inviting people.
For what is, he's a financial advisor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
So, I mean, he always invites me. I just never been home to go. So if you ever want to go, he's like, yeah, come along. Like your friends.
That'd be legit, dude.
All you gotta pay for is the flight, which is like $300, and then everything else is covered.
Yeah, it's crazy how like, I used to think as a kid that like, flights on airplanes were so expensive. You know?
$1,000?
Yeah, like I had this idea in my head that like if I want to travel to Europe, it's gonna be like a $3,000 flight.
I think it's like 1,000, isn't it?
Bro, so like, turns out Google has this thing called Google Flights.
Oh.
And you can type in like where you want to go, like where you're at, where you want to go, and like multiple different stops in between, and it will just search and find you the cheapest flights automatically. And like, you can go travel to like 5 different places in Europe, like flying, and then come back here for like $1,500.
Whoa.
For like flights, not including like expenses while you're out there, but like, yeah, dude, one of my old bosses showed me this. I had no idea that like Google Flights was a thing, but like, it's legit and it's not that expensive. Like, I'm even like flying like what was this summer 2018? I flew to Chicago, spent a couple days in Chicago, and then like my grandparents live a couple hours south of Chicago, and like my round trip flight was like a few $100s. And I was like, this is cheap.
It's probably cheap. It's probably cheaper right now.
Right. Yeah, it's probably really. Yeah, dude, my mom was just telling me there's like a fly to Hawaii for like $80.
Holy shit.
But I was like, man, you go to Hawaii, they might not let you back, you know? Like,
yeah, you can't come back here.
Yeah, like you're stuck out there.
It would be a bad place to get stuck.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like so like getting to Europe or the UK, that's the expensive part. But once you're in Europe or UK, like the flights within the country, like if you want to fly within Europe, they're actually really cheap.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to go from Romania to Germany, it was a few $100.
Yeah. See.
Or Ireland.
Yeah. Dude, Cody was about to go to Ireland, and his trip got canceled because of this whole coronavirus thing.
Did you get reimbursed for it?
He got a credit for a different vacation. So.
Miss you, Cody.
Yeah, dude, we'll do a podcast with the three of us. That'd be a lot of fun.
Dude, yeah, I'd love to pick his brain again, man.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. He's in the financial world too.
Oh, yeah. Him and my dad would get along.
Yeah. Yeah, man, we could definitely set that up. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it'd be pretty dope. I'd be down for that.
I was just talking to him. We talked on the phone a few hours ago this morning, so we're gonna fucking line this up probably in the next like week.
Dude, I mean, I'm not doing anything right
now.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone is. No. You know?
I'm just waiting to leave to work.
Yeah, I mean, Cody's still working, but he's working from home, so we can make that shit work.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he said his place would be open next week.
Yeah, and it's close, dude. It's like 5 minutes away.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Even
it's
better.
like you said, you're by SDSU, right?
Yeah, dude. It only
he's like
15 minutes to get here.
He's like right by the Costco in the Mesa. Like
okay.
Yeah, so like,
dude, that's way close to me.
Yeah, it's like in between here and where you're at.
Yeah. Probably get there in like 8 minutes.
Yeah. Cool, man. All right, well, let's wrap this up, bro.
Yeah, dude. I mean, well, that's me. I don't know what else you want to know.
No, this is great, dude. I didn't even know. Like, I knew... Because I don't think... we probably haven't actually hung out in person in, like, fucking 10 years, bro.
I've always been gone, dude.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Just side effect.
Yeah, this is great catching up, man. This is a lot of fun.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me, brother.
Yeah, man. All right, guys. Until next time.
Shit.
Peace out.
Peace out.